I would say, again, with West Jeff being such a rich football tradition town, it's kind of, I relate it to Ohio State, not in the fact that we were anywhere near that good, but, the same thing as all those fans expect them to be good every single year. And that is the expectation. It was, this is the way or the highway kind of a deal. You are going to, if you're a part of this team, you're going to work your butt off. And I really think that we took that into every single game moving forward. And we had a rivalry with Jonathan Alder growing up, Plain City, where it was a town right down the road from us and same county and everything. And it was a rivalry where it was almost like, again, Ohio State, Michigan. It was a bitter hatred, but then as soon as the game was over or whatever, we were, friends because it was right down the road. At least some of us, anyways. We, growing up, you get a little bit more into it than you should. But as you grow older, you realize, they're just normal people. But expectations were very, very high as far as any sport goes, mostly football, but any sport we were expected to win. And if you didn't, then you better get back in the practice field and grind.
Yeah, it's a different level of accountability, right? Not even for the coaches, for the fans, but even for your teammates.
Yeah, you were expected to hold up your end of the deal. You were a part of the team and you were supposed to play a vital role. So, show up every time, do your job and do it to the best of your ability every day. And, like I said, I'm lucky enough to have the same group of friends, but when we got on that practice field, there wasn't a whole lot of friendship, man. It was, you better work your butt off or I'm going to call you out and tell you about it. So, but as soon as that whistle blew, practice was over, it was right back to friendship. So,
yes, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I know that's going to play a big role into your career, moving forward, just having some of those past experiences, and we'll dive into it. So, you go through high school. What's the next step after high school? Did you go to college?
My senior year, actually, right after football was over, I decided, I was trying to look into plans. What do I want to do after high school? And, the common goal around everywhere is just go to college. That's what the plan is. So I wanted to go to college, but didn't know how to pay for it, didn't know how to afford it. And I looked into, the military and talked to one of my really good friends. And him and I ended up enlisting in the Army National Guard my senior year. So we started doing our drill weekends before I even graduated. And I had always been interested in the military, loved all the movies growing up. I had a lot of friends of the family that were in the military and family members. So, and my dad loves the military, absolutely loves it. So it was just, something that fell into my lap and it just felt right. So ended up joining the Guard my senior year. And then when everyone else went off to college right after we graduated, they waited that summer and then they went at the end and I stayed home with them. And then at the end of the summer, went to boot camp. Spent 3 months there out in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And I call it Fort Lost in the Woods because it was in the middle of nowhere.
I was saying Missouri. What?
Yeah, middle of nowhere, my friend. So we had every weather season you could think of. It was really hot when we first got there. Then it rained crazy, and then by the time we left, it was bitter cold. But awesome experience, and I really excelled there. I loved it, enjoyed it, and started my military career. So when I got out of basic training, then I came back, and my enlistment contract was 1 week in a month, and then 2 weeks in the summer, and whatever training that I had to do. But it allowed me to also go to college as well. So enrolled at Ohio University when I got back. I knew that I always wanted to go to OU, so be a Bobcat down there. I got a little bit of a let's say that socializing aspect of me started to come out pretty good for Athens campus. But went down to OU and just didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just know, go to college. And I thought, how can I help people? That's kind of my nature. I like to, help people as much as possible. So I thought copper, firefighter, civil service, and started going for criminal justice. Long story, that didn't end up working out. It didn't fit right for me. So I transferred to Hocking College up the road and went for firefighter. So I ended up graduating from there, but of course, I had to live on OU's campus. How was I going to leave there? So,
So
uh,
what? So just real quick, what made you just switch colleges? Was it just because of the program? They didn't have it, or
yep. OU, they didn't have it. Hocking College, they were more of a technical program where
sure?
they had the firefighter training stuff on site. Very very cool. A lot of the facilities that they had. So, and it was only 15 minutes up the road, so I could still stay down there with my buddy and
You get your
um,
social fixes in, huh?
get my social fixes in. That's how we're going to refer to it. So, yeah, had a phenomenal time down there, and anyways, ended up graduating from Hocking with a firefighter paramedic degree, which brings me back to home.
Yeah,
So
I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that you actually that's what you went for.
yeah, man, it's I'm like an onion, man. You can pull back the layers. There's quite a few in there, but yeah, definitely getting made fun of for that on the podcast for the wife. But anyways, I had a lot of I don't know, different thoughts coming out of college. Is after I wanted to
What
go to firefighter.
what year was that?
That was 2014, so that's when I
Okay.
graduated.
Okay.
And when I did, I was like, oh, I want to. I got into it to fight fires. I love the adrenaline rush. I'm kind of a junkie in that way. And then they were like, okay, you got to get your EMT license. Okay, so I got that. Then they said, got to get your medic license. Okay, I got that. So what I come to realize was a lot of it was medic runs, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought the fireside would, and fight, going into the burning building. Um, kind of like the hero theme, I guess. I like that, running into the fire. So um, didn't end up liking it. So switched careers and job hopped a lot after that, and it was a long, long road. So
So how long were you doing the firefighting stuff until you realized that, it just wasn't the right
I'm
spot?
I'm the type of person to where, if I don't like something, I know it right away. Whether it's a person, an environment, a job, if I don't like it, I know I got an instant feeling. It's just a gut feeling. And
Yeah.
it only took me just a couple months, man. A couple months, and I knew right
Chip,
away wasn't it.
and normally I ask this question a little bit further down, but I mean, did you have any pushback from that when you made the decision after making the commitment to because I was like the same way, right? Like I went to Ohio State. I couldn't get into main campus my first year. I wanted to be an accountant because that's what my grandfather did. Um, and I had to go through all of the math classes from the big, I think that should have been the first sign, right? Like you shouldn't go for accounting if you have to start at the very first math class that you have to take in college and work your way up. You should have like already advanced,
Yeah,
to skip a couple classes when you first show up on campus. But
for sure.
I think it's important because I went to Ohio State for accounting, and I got the calculus. I failed. I switched my major, um, and as soon as I graduated, I jumped into real estate. And my parents, they didn't tell me to my face, but they were probably thinking, "Oh boy, like, uh, you just went to school for 4 years and you're not using your degree." And oh, by the way, for me, I jumped into a fully commissioned job, um, right after graduating. I had some buffer, I had some help. I was getting some money as a paid admin. But did you have any pushback when after you're like, okay, I went to school, got my license, I got the EMT and the med and all that other stuff, and then oh, by the way, I don't like this anymore.
Very similar story, actually. Yeah, so when I actually got a lot of pushback from every single person ever, and understandably so. I had, like you said, you work all this, you do all this hard work, and you take all this time, pass all these tests, do what you're supposed to do, and get your license, and you just and there, I think from everyone else's eyes, they thought that I just gave up and didn't give it a chance.
Sure.
And for me, it was like, I know right now I can't do this the rest of my life. And why would I waste my time doing something that, number one, anything I do, I'm 100% in. Like if I'm doing it, you got everything of me. So I just wasn't all the way in it. And so, yeah, there was a lot of pushback. I love my parents and they are very, very supportive of everything I do. But I think that day they questioned the decision pretty hard and they were like, what in the world are you doing, man? You just, spend all this money, time, effort, and,
Right.
and now you're just going to change. And what are you going to do? I think that's what a lot of people was, because I didn't have a plan. I just knew that wasn't it. Let's be honest.
The-
I didn't have a plan. I just
I
had to,
didn't have a plan. I didn't have a plan. The plan was not that.
right. Exactly. Exactly. So, um, yeah, a lot of pushback, and they still supported me, and they knew that I would figure it out. Parents, Jesse, and now my wife, everybody around, even friends, even acquaintances, were like, "What are you doing?" But and some didn't want to say that, some did,
Sure.
um, but it was, and I honestly I didn't know either. I
Yeah.
had no idea, but I knew there was something out there for me, and so. Um, when I did, it was like, okay, well, now I got to start making money. So it was job after job. And I was open to try anything, anybody that would give me a chance to be successful. And I tried a lot of different things, a lot of different jobs. I sold cars. I worked construction, electrical work, um, a little bit of everything, delivery packages. I mean, I did it all. So that all led me to this real estate job. And looking back at the time, I wanted to just know what it was. I'm impatient in that way, but looking back, I think it gave me so much experience. I don't and networked with so many people. I don't think I would change it. I really don't.